Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I will make a shorter video because the last ones were really long, and I thought I will show you some basic functionality from data.table. It's a package where you can do a lot of stuff, but today I will show you how you can filter for rows and select columns and make subsets of data sets and so on. The data set I'm using for this I found on Kaggle. It's about suicide rates from 1985 to 2016. I'm interested in mental health, so I wanted to look into that anyway. So I thought, why not take this data set? But of course, when someone talks about suicide, it's always good to say for people, if you who is listening and watching this think about suicide, talk about it. Here's a list of hotlines I dealt with. Depression myself, a big part of my life. I never really had suicidal thoughts, but I definitely can tell you that talking helps. Try it. I wanted to say that because I think it's important to talk about mental health even in our video tutorial. Okay, so I got the data set. Let's get started, and let's start with a clean slate here so we can follow everything step by step. We set our working directory, we load the package with library, we read in the data, and we look at the data with str, that stands for structure. So here we can check if fread from data table read in the files, the file and the columns how we want it. So the country here is a character, the year is an integer, the country year, whatever that is a character. I checked it before, everything is fine. So to work with data table, I can quickly show you here. That's again from structured data, from our data. The class of the data is actually a data table and a data frame. So we can use every functionality from data table, but also from data frame from base R. So in a very general way, we put in the data we want. It's called data here because that's how we named it up here. And if we just start typing inside of the square brackets, we refer to the rows. So we can say, okay, give me every line where the column country equals Austria. I'm from Austria, so I looked for this. That's really similar to filter from dplyr. So that's it. You can use everything that you normally know from filtering. So not only just give me Austria, but also Germany. So that's OR, and all the normal operators, OR, and so on. So now if we make a comma, after the comma we refer to the columns. But if we want to refer to all the lines, so we don't want to filter, we just open the brackets, put a comma with nothing, more or less, between the square bracket and the comma, and we just start typing. So let's look at the suicides number column. So if we put in here suicides number, it gives us back the column as a vector. That most of the time isn't really helpful because it's really the same as in base R data $ suicides number. So okay, it's just more typing. But with the operator dot, open bracket and close the bracket and put inside here the column we want, it gives us back a data table. So that's a really nice way to select columns. Here inside of the brackets we can of course select all kinds of columns. Let's look at another one. Let's take the population. And the nice thing about data table is it's, if you start typing, it suggests to you the column name. So yeah, we want population. We do it again. You can see it's here. We can also name the columns directly here. So let's say number of suicides and I don't know, whatever, pop instead of population. And we can see that it named it correctly here. But the nice thing is we can also use every function that we want in here. So let's say we don't want the total number of suicides, but the sum of the suicides. That's the name. And here we just use the sum function and run it again. And here it's a little bit weird because it gives us, because here we just say give us the column population, but every line from Austria. So it does that, and it fills up the sum of all suicides in Austria here and puts it in every line. But of course we can also say give us the sum of the population. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but let's do it just so we can see how it works. And now we have one line. So the last step today is we can make subsets. So let's say we want that, but for every year in the data. It's just we put another comma and say by and put in the column we want it subset, sorted by, whatever, I don't know how to call it, but I can show you, because here we have more than one line per year. But if we say by year, it takes every year and sums up the suicides and sums up the population, which again, summing up the population isn't the smartest thing, but whatever. But that's how it works. We can also subset, I will just call it subset from now on, the more than one column. So let's say we want year and sex. Let's get rid of the population because it really isn't meaningful. So we say by sex. We have to close it here by sex and year. And now we can see that in 1985 in Austria, sadly 1,467 men took their lives and 624 women. This is basically the same as if we would put it in a vector and put the columns in quotes, the same result. So that's what I wanted to show you for today. To quickly recap, everything we put in before the first comma refers to the rows. Everything we put in after the first comma refers to columns, and everything after the third refers to you can say how you want it sorted or subsetted or whatever you want to call it. I think it's really nice. I like it. You can check it out if you want. And again, if you have thoughts about suicide, I will put the link to this site under the video, or just if your country isn't here, just Google suicide hotline, let's say Austria, and you will find something. Talk about it. It really helps even if you don't believe it now. Thanks for watching. If you want to, you can join my mailing list on my website, and I hope to see you soon back here.